Hey, this is Joe Gatto, and you're listening to Shooting Shit.
Man, you know what, Isaac? God, it feels like it's been a week since we were last doing an episode.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's been 8 days.
8 days, man. I know.
And
I
what
don't
is
know.
there's a lot that's happened in 8 days, but not a whole lot in the world of wrestling, you know?
No, and stuff. So what did you think of your first episode last week?
Oh my god, man, I had so much fun. I had to come back and do it again, man.
Well, you know what? You're welcome. You were welcome back anytime and stuff. But we got a few things to talk about. Are you ready to
Oh
get
my
going?
god. I am.
But
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I am too, but I feel like do you ever get that feeling like when
you
forget something? It's just like
I
something
don't
was
know what it is.
You know what? Why don't we just go to the intro video, and I'm sure it'll come to us.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out here. So, guys,
let's do it live. We'll do it live.
All right, here we go. See, I knew we would have it figured out once we played that theme.
I thought I forgot my own name. That was weird.
I just remembered everything. Honestly, everything came back to me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's just like it was like I don't know. It's just like an epiphany or something.
Epiphany, bro. That's a $3 word.
I was thought back into existence.
You were, man, and so in case you can't figure it out by now, 5-Star Takes actually has a new team member of the team. Welcome, Shane.
Hey guys,
getting the band back together, man.
I know,
right.
Oh, old school.
Yeah.
So real quick, which one of you thought me into existence, and why didn't you include my mustache?
We both did, but we figured the mustache just followed you wherever you went. Look at
you. It abandoned me somewhere. Look at this. This is fresh. This fresh
it
baby.
It is, dude.
That's fresh like a smooth like a baby.
Are you even old enough to be drinking that beer, sir?
If you saw my belly, yeah.
It's made of pure beer.
Like if you look here and then you don't get to my double chin, you're like, oh, this is like a 14-year-old. And then the lower it gets,
the further out it expands.
Yeah, they're like, damn, man, what are they doing? Feeding this kid 15 bush heavy a week?
That's a lot of bush there.
Hey,
it's all over that area.
Bush Light, that is some good stuff. I had me one of those that oh wait, no,
that's heavy. Are those heavy?
Yeah, no. These are just Bush beers.
Heavy.
And now listen, there's nothing wrong with a Bush Light when you can't, get your hands around a heavy, but when in doubt, 5.2%, I think.
I like the
sorry, DDJ. Your show has been taken over already, and I apologize.
Dude.
We're off to a better start than last week, man. The first thing out of my mouth was an innuendo about orgasms. So
yeah, so this is we're making progress here.
We're doing really well, man. We're doing great.
Yeah. And but Shane, welcome aboard, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been talking a little peek behind the curtain. We've been talking about reuniting and doing doing something here for the longest time. And it just hadn't worked until just finally the other day, Isaac reached out to me and said, that you saw the show and you wanted to hop on. And my first thought was, well, fuck, I better call Jovan and have him make a new overlay.
It's
Woo! We're
on.
back, baby.
We're
And
back.
that's
Yeah. Well, thanks to Jovan for making that, and thanks to you for including me. I'm not
Yeah,
thanking
dude.
Isaac though.
No, I don't deserve any thanks, man.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna disagree with that because Isaac, yeah, I owe a lot to you, and this is something that we've
Oh,
talked
Jesus.
about. We've talked about over the years, and it's been brought up
It's
on
been
our shows
years
and
now.
stuff. And
It is
stuff.
crazy.
But I mean, if it wasn't for you, a lot of this stuff probably doesn't happen because you don't get me and Jovan talking and kind of, after the great big,
The
blow up that
kerfuffle.
was the
Yeah.
kerfluffle. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Like if without you,
Shitstorm.
yeah, we'll call. Yeah, there you go, shitstorm.
Flying with shitbirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the shitbirds. They were. Yeah, it was a shit hurricane, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we came out cleansed of all the shit and all friends.
There's
And
a
shooting.
shit NATO coming for you, Julian.
Now we are
NATO.
shooting. Now we are shooting shit. With DDJ on 5-star takes. So.
Yeah, and stuff. And if it wasn't for you, Shane wouldn't be on here either. So you got to give yourself a little credit, Isaac.
I try not to do that, man.
I give him a lot of credit, but no thanks. Still, sorry. You're gonna have to try harder than that, DDJ.
That's all
I
good.
agree.
Yeah. So,
I take credit, no thanks.
So, Shane, do you want to take a minute to kind of introduce yourself to the crowd here?
Oh, yeah. I'm Shane. I don't know what would I say here. I'm like almost 30 years old.
Yeah,
So
Shane's young.
yeah. I'm sure that the old fuckers next to me and I will have differing opinions, and I'll be halfway to the voice of most wrestling fans my age.
There you
I'll
go.
be the libertarian of this show. You know what I mean?
I'm just gonna be
Partway
the guy
there.
who watches the show and says, "What the hell's going on here?"
Now, I again go back to giving credit to Isaac. I do want to bring up something, and Isaac has watched an incredible amount of wrestling for himself. I mean, literally for as long as I've known him, over the past
Oh
like
my
3
God.
weeks. He
Yeah,
watched
since
Dynamite
Mania,
a couple weeks
I
ago.
watched two full episodes of Dynamite, and
Oh, did you watch last week?
I tried to watch this week's. Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched
like 2
last
days.
week's
Yeah.
with where they attacked Tony Khan, and then I tried to watch. It was not as good as the other two shows.
This Dynamite was not very good. I went to bed. I went to bed half an hour early. Like I
Yeah.
chose to go to sleep. I was like, man.
But yeah, no, I've been trying to watch a lot of wrestling. I mean, as much as I can with what I got going on. But yeah, Mania was great. There's just been a lot of good wrestling, and the actual in-ring work in Dynamite is generally really good. So
yeah. Well, since we're kind of talking about Dynamite and stuff, well, why don't we just kind of use that as our segue into our first topic and talk about one noteworthy thing that happened from Wednesday night's Dynamite, and that is the return of one best bout machine, Kenny Omega. I actually, I know I think Shane, you just said that you weren't, a big fan of the show, and I mean it was okay and stuff, but I mean for me it was just I wanted to see Kenny. I wanted to hear what he had to say, like what was going to happen, because you knew something was going down and stuff. And I actually I'm really intrigued where this is going to wind up, because I think with this Omega return, it definitely already set up the an eventual match with Okada, which I'm never going to turn down a chance to watch Omega versus Okada and stuff.
So I want to ask, just because I went to bed before this happened, and then when I read about it the next day, I was like half asleep, like it was just as I was waking up. So
Kenny came out. The first thing that happened was that the ring announcer gave Kenny Omega the most ridiculous, over the top fucking announcement ever.
Did he do the whole gimmick with like
North Carolina. Yes, he did.
Oh my god, he went on forever.
saying
And
how
so
he rode 7 horses and shit. Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
No,
So
yeah,
then,
he went all out.
Oh,
and then
that's like his
yeah,
big match entrance. That's the
yeah,
Kenny Omega pay-per-view.
yeah. And so Kenny came out. He actually cut a pretty good promo. He sort of gave away the plot of what was happening in the promo by making sure he told us that if he took a blow to the gut, it could kill him because he has diverticulitis. And it's like, okay, so now someone's going to come out and hit him in the stomach with something.
Yeah.
So
But
is that real? Like is that a possibility with diverticulitis? Because I seem to remember Brock Lesnar having diverticulitis,
I don't.
it
I don't.
almost
and
killed
then
him.
coming back and having another fight in the UFC where he was so
Yeah.
juiced it was unbelievable.
But he also so was fucking what's his name who kicked him in the chest 6 months after the surgery. But yeah, Brock Lesnar had I think it was something like 18 inches of his intestine removed because of that.
Well, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, but what I'm asking is that like a real possibility, like with diverticulitis? Like I don't.
I would think early on, like, because I'm sure he's already had something. Because I feel like if it was a real serious thing, like if he had taken the shot and like it legitimately could have possibly killed him, there's no way he would have even been back on and stuff.
Well,
Because
I mean that's
I
my
think
thought process, right?
I think what he said is true, but I think he's past that point because if that was legitimately the case, he wasn't taking that shot. There's no way Tony Khan would have allowed that.
Yeah, and like I'm saying that like that's cause for immediate retirement. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe it's a situation where in 3 years, he gets cleared and he's fine. But like, if he's in a position where they're like, if you take a punch to the stomach, it will kill you. It's like,
Yeah. No, that's the
I mean,
thing
it's
is that
scarier than Shibata taking like head bumps.
Yeah.
no, and that's the thing is like the promo was pretty good up until that point, and then it's like, oh Jesus, because like that someone's going to come in and hit him. You know
Yeah,
that
so
it just I don't know, like diverticulitis is some serious shit, and
yeah.
it's sort of yeah, I don't know if that's the best way to handle it. But yeah, Jack Perry came in and fucking hit
No,
him.
no.
Well,
Yes.
Okada came down and stared him off, and he says, "I'm the fucking best bout machine."
And then
And then
Omega's like, give me like 2 months.
yeah, and then Jack Perry came in and hit him and clear,
Jeez.
and then the EVPs came in, they did their thing, and
EVP trigger.
they
Yeah.
had to hit him, and someone hit him in the stomach with a chair,
That was
and
Jack
then
Perry that did
yeah,
that.
and
The
then
FTR came
Most
out to try to help.
FTR
Oh,
ran down for the save and cleared the ring, and that was the end of the show.
oh,
Well, now
yeah.
technically, no, it wasn't the
Well,
end
it
of the
went
show.
into Rampage
They
or
bled into
whatever.
Rampage as they were taking him, back to the ambulance and stuff, to the ambulance, and then they all got jumped again and stuff, and that.
So real quick, and I don't want to sidetrack this too much, but how DDJ, you are the biggest AEW fan here by a mile,
Yeah, and
certainly.
lately my fandom is nowhere close to what it was a few years
It's
ago.
Oh, dude, when it was at Daly's place all the time, and it was like Joey Janela just doing a hardcore match for no reason, that shit was awesome.
Yes. Yeah,
They were doing Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela in a lights out match in front of like 600 people. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh my god.
Um, but so with like the way they've done Rampage this week, and they've done it a couple times before for varying reasons. How would you feel about that becoming like a permanent thing? Because I guarantee you that the ratings for Rampage would increase regardless, even like with it going
Sure.
to 3 hours. And then you could do something fun with it still, right? And make it like how they used to do
Raw's
Nitro.
War.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Raw's
yeah,
War.
Raw
Yeah.
or Nitro, where we're like each kind of like hour of the show is a different style and like a different, you know, block.
We don't need another 3 hour block though. I mean, that's my thing is 3 hours is still too much. I mean, I think when you do have those instances where you have to do it, the
Yeah.
way they did it made a lot of sense, right? Because
Yeah.
Rampage is going to get better ratings, but I think
Sure.
once it's every week, then it's just becomes one show, no matter how you try and separate
Yeah.
things.
Like
They just have.
I agree
Go
with
ahead.
Isaac. I agree with Isaac. It's kind of one of those things like when they have to do it. I'm not opposed to do it when they have to do it, like they've had to the last couple of weeks and stuff with the NBA playoffs and stuff, But yeah, I like you said, Raw. I've gotten so used to it being 3 hours. I'm fine with it. But yeah, it's just
Well,
it,
Raw is also just at a point, I think, where a lot of the time they can generally at this point fill a 3-hour show pretty well with like
mhm.
interesting things. And like
They have
obviously
so much
every
talent.
and then like obviously every Raw has, usually a segment or two that are kind of flat or just bad. And like it happens, right?
Mhm.
Well,
But just
I mean, that's
most of
kind
it
of
is like at least fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And
yeah.
I honestly feel like AEW, like they really could do the same if they could just figure out how to write a fucking show. Like
Yeah.
Not
if
wrong.
if
No,
they could figure out how to like
it's
streamline
so
these
I mean,
like
I hate
I
to
don't I
I
don't
hate to
even
say
know.
it, but it's so WCW, dude.
No, it
Yeah,
is.
it
It's
is.
100%. I mean, but
It,
it's kind of in reverse though, right? Because the in-ring product is really what's
great.
driving the show. It's better than
Yeah.
WWE in ring.
I
I
mean,
mean,
at least, yeah, at least for
At certain points, I
their
wouldn't say
TV shows.
overall. Yeah, I don't know if I'd agree with what
Well,
you just said about the in-ring product. I mean, it because there are times where it is, but I think there's times where
okay.
it's not as
So
well.
so what I should say, and I'll retract my statement, is that it's more
No, don't
exciting.
retract your statement if
no,
that's how
I think
that's
no,
your
I
opinion.
yeah, you're taking 5-star takes here, motherfucker. Uh, no, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Shane in the sense that like WWE
You
doesn't
know
doesn't
what
put
to expect.
yeah, but they don't all. I mean, they put on good matches on
Yeah,
TV, but they're not. They're holding back, right? You
for
can
sure.
tell they're holding back on TV because they want to sell. They still want to sell the PLEs or whatever they're calling them,
Yeah,
and
They always
so and so that's why you have like the slow build. It's just a different sort of mentality.
yeah.
Whereas AEW still has this mentality that like we need to go out there every week and prove that we can have the best wrestling matches, and
Well, because they
it,
need to.
they do, but at the same time they also need to get. I mean, because it's not the wrestling matches generally that gets people to watch wrestling. It's like like it's the promotion, and that's why wrestling became fucking fake in the first place, right? Is because you could the more you promoted certain ways, right, and build up to these big matches, the more
hmm
tickets you sell.
yeah,
And I think that they're missing the boat on that, where they're throwing so much at the wall trying to make something stick instead of working, like a few really strong, good storylines that are
yeah.
compelling and make you want to check back in next week, and that aren't, like fuck, man.
It's like they're
They
just
even
giving. It's just
even
like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no,
Finish
I
it.
was gonna say even Meltzer was saying that it's like he was like this would have been great a couple years ago.
hmm
He's like, but it just doesn't feel like it works now.
And I mean, also too, I feel like with AEW, they have a tendency they give away these dream matches that like if that on TV to pop a rating when but see that doesn't seem to be working because they don't really have much of a fluctuation in their rating. It's fairly consistent. But like
Hmm.
if they I think if
Yeah.
they would take some of these matches like I'm just trying to think of one that they had on, like let's just throw out
Even
Claudio Castagnoli and Will Ospreay, that they had on, and I think it was Collision or something. You know, give that some time to build for a pay per view.
yeah,
Try to
create a
you know,
story.
yeah, create a story. And I think that's the thing. It's just like they do these matches just for the sake of doing them, And if they would do the WWE way, maybe put some time and some effort into building these stories a little bit, yeah, these matches are, oh my God, we're going to see this. But just think of like just the build and stuff, because it's just going to make us as fans want to see it that much more, and plunk down the $50 or whatever to, buy like,
Oh yeah.
Full Gear or, Double or Nothing or whatever.
I mean, and the thing that I think sucks the most about it is the fact that AEW are capable of putting on some like really genuinely brilliant like storytelling elements. They're great at long term storytelling a lot of the time. They're great at like callbacks and
You're trying to
you know
tie
you,
some things
you know
together.
things like that. They're long at and they've been great at playing the long game with guys. You saw it with Swerve.
And
Hangman was the
Christian.
big one. Christian.
Swerve and Christian to set up for the match at Double or Nothing. I mean, they went back to, Christian and Swerve teaming up at All In, and Christian, on get, basically, getting on Swerve about when Swerve attacked Nick Wayne and, in his garage and,
Yeah, I mean, which is
left him a
still
bloody mess.
and that's the craziest thing to me about Swerve being a face, right? Is like 6 months ago, he was not only breaking and entering somebody's home, he was breaking and entering their home, attempting to kill them, like leaving them in a horrible bloody mess, desecrating like the memory of their father. And then Nana comes out and does a fucking dance, and people are like, "Yo, let's go!"
I'm telling you. I sent you the message. I sent you both that message
Yeah.
because I was watching and I'm like, he comes out and the crowd's already, and you're like, who the fuck is more over
Well,
here?
there was a time when Nana like was getting face pop and Swerve was getting like huge heel pop, and then slowly but surely it kind of
Yeah,
just kind of bled, and
yeah, yeah. Nana
Swerve
did.
became
He
something.
did. He did work with him, man. That's incredible stuff.
Yeah, which is awesome because Nana is like an original Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah,
Like nobody would remember. And the only reason why I know this is because I read about it because I didn't watch it. I didn't see this at all. Um, but apparently he was like not really of note. He just kind of stuck it out and did some stuff. And then like people are so stoked for this guy, man, because it's like he's really like getting his flowers and like
yeah,
all that. So it's
yeah.
it's pretty
And,
cool.
and, and it's good because Nana's a good dude. Like I've heard, he's done interviews on Busted Open. I've listened to. I've actually gotten got a chance to meet him at Starcast this past
Yeah,
September.
Pixar
Before
didn't
all that.
happen.
Well, we got that. You know what? That's coming up a little bit later with and stuff. But I don't think Nana was going to be your choice, right?
No, it wasn't this week. But
We'll see.
now I don't need to choose him. You know what I think about Nana? I wish he could draft him to Raw or SmackDown.
Who would you put him with? That's a good question. Who would you put him with if he were in the WWE?
Fucking Bobby Lashley, dude. Come on.
God, as long as he's not like Leo Rush and goes Lashley.
Oh no, that
No, just
I
go
might
and
be the
do.
only person that loved that, man. It was so funny to
Shane's a
me.
big Bob
I
fan.
think
I love Bobby Lashley.
Leo Rush is very talented stuff. But God, I just that voice was so great when he would do Lashley.
I mean, real quick to give somebody some flowers, right? We talked about flowers. Leo Rush is killing it on the indies right now.
Yep,
for him.
I saw him
He is
I saw him compete a couple months ago for a Chicago style wrestling. Shout out to all my friends over there, including the guy behind CSW, Steve Boz, a very good friend of mine and stuff. But yeah, he's uber talented.
Yeah, I saw him wrestle at the last GCW show here versus
Nice.
Myron Reed, and it was good. Anyways, yeah, Kenny Omega returned.
He did, and yeah, it was all right. So are we jumping now to the draft or what?
You know
I
what?
mean,
Why don't I want one more thing I
Yes.
want to bring up about Kenny Omega and this whole thing and stuff. before we move on to the draft. So obviously, it's building to some thing where it's going to be like the elite versus obviously looks like FTR, Kenny Omega, and someone who the guys are going to be representing Tony Khan.
Survivor Series.
Or Blood and Guts or something and stuff. But like, if who do you think would be that fourth guy that would hook up with Kenny and FTR to combat the elite?
Oh,
I have no idea. Who do you put in that spot?
The one person I've got mine, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
Versus versus Jack Perry. I feel like it would have to be somebody from Japan, right? I feel like this would have to be like a big one-off match for this person.
Mm-hmm.
So who hates Jack Perry in the Young Bucks from Japan?
Bring in. Oh, I've got.
I feel like it could be. I'm just trying
Maybe
to think.
someone's got a little history with
Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, I mean, Ibushi's the obvious one, right? But that's not fun.
Maybe Tanahashi.
I was gonna say either Hiromu Takahashi, or they do the big one, right? And they go and they grab like Naito.
See, for me, I don't think they have to look very far. They just.
Oh, speaking of Naito, right there.
Yeah. I got this shirt from Windy City Riot when John Moxley beat Naito for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
You were there. That would have been cool, wouldn't it?
It's funny because I was sitting with my friends Patrick, Ty, and Matt, and we were talking about the show and stuff, and I was sitting with my friend Patrick, and we were talking about how, because they had the show at Wintrust, and we were talking about how we were there when Moxley won the AEW World Title for the first time in that exact same building. So we've seen Mox win 2 different World Championships in the same building, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, him being. Do we want to get into him winning the IWGP Championship in America, or
we can maybe save that for a future episode and stuff.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say I feel like that's a long discussion.
But going back to the one guy I wouldn't mind actually seeing join up with Omega FTR to kind of represent Tony Khan. I think when he's healthy and he comes back, because I feel like this other stuff with the Undisputed Kingdom is really just got flushed down the toilet because in an epic disaster. I wouldn't mind seeing MJF show up and be that fourth guy.
Yeah, why not?
And stuff, because I mean, he's got history with Jack Perry, 2 of the original 4 pillars, and I'm sure. I just think he would be the guy, and I think that would be the one guy that, you hear that music play, that crowd's going ape shit bonker bananas.
Yeah, for sure. I don't. Do you think MJF has the same momentum in like fire that he did when he got hurt and kind of disappeared? Because I don't know if he does.
Depends on where he goes.
AEW has.
If he showed up on Raw, the fucking lid would blow off the place.
Well, sure. No. I'm.
The lid's gonna blow.
Yeah. No. I think the initial pop is gonna be huge, but I'm saying like sustained, relevance and.
I think he can do it.
I mean, I think he can do it. I don't know. I have this weird feeling that he was at such a weird place in his face turn, like when he got hurt and when the whole Adam Cole storyline went to shit, that when he comes back, if he tries to go like straight babyface, I don't know if the crowd's going to be into it. I feel like he would be better off coming out and just snapping back into ultra heel, and then they just move on from him and Adam Cole. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, but yeah, let's move on to something that happened over the span of a week or a few couple of shows, and that is the WWE draft. I don't know about you guys, but overall, I thought the draft kind of sucked. The
It
only good
always
part,
it
It,
always sucks.
but because you see, the only thing
especially
that
the SmackDown portion.
yeah, it's just because like literally hardly anybody changed. Like the only part of the draft that interested me were the NXT call
I was
ups.
about to say that
Yeah.
was the only thing that was cool, and that was just because it was real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
And
Raw got
also,
a little spicy with the
yeah, it was
shakeup.
all right. But Ilya Dragunov is fucking awesome.
He's the
Yes.
best.
Oh my god, I'm so happy he's on Raw. That was like the one point of the show where I was like really marking out, and I was like,
Mhm.
yes, fucking so excited to see him with Walter again.
Yeah, and
Give
then
me more of that, dude. Give me
and that was
fucking.
Honestly, though, I feel like we got to move on from Walter, man. I don't like the name change, and I still don't. But I feel like
It's just
out of respect, you know what I
I,
mean for
it's
the
that
for the
wasn't even
guy
on purpose.
that you got to hit him with the
I j-
Gunther, man.
I he's a Gunther, but it
I
wasn't
can't
on
believe I'm
purpose. I just
defending a WWE name change, but
well, I do. I go back and forth with Gunther and Walter. Either way,
one's fat, the other one is what he is now.
yeah. But
you
I
know,
mean,
I
both of them are
hated
incredible
mhm.
wrestlers.
I hated the change
Best.
at first, but I've gotten used to it. Like to me now, I kind of look at him as Gunther and not Walter, and maybe it's
Well,
I
because of
mean,
that whole thing with the body and stuff.
call him whatever you want, man. Call him Shitty McFark Pants,
he went out
and
and
then
did work.
yeah, and then he'll go to the ring, do what he does, chop the piss out of somebody for 15 minutes, and you'd be like, man, Shitty McFart Stain fucking rules.
Yeah, I mean, and he put on. I mean, he put on so many fucking
Now,
five-star matches over
now,
his.
yeah, and now
I
I
mean,
want to see. Now I want to be there. Whenever Gunther does a meet and greet and Shane goes there, I want to be there to hear him call Gunther "shitty McFart pants."
so Stain, Shitty McFart
Shitty
Stain.
McFartstein. Yeah,
Shitty
yeah,
McFart stain. Excuse
yeah.
me.
He's
Um,
Jewish.
yeah, CEIN. Uh, just to reach out to other markets. But so Isaac brought this question up to me, DDJ, and I don't know if he brought it up to you. Would you take a Gunther Walter chop if given the chance?
Just for the hell of it.
No,
Just to say you did. No,
no.
Isaac. What? I don't think you ever answered.
Oh, I absolutely would.
100%, right? Just
Yeah,
one.
just
Like
one.
it's gonna kill me. Like for certainly, I'm done.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, but in the end, you're just getting slapped. You
But like
know.
Yeah,
the
but
bottom.
very, very hard.
Yeah, I
But
mean, but I've been whipped before. I've been hit with belts. I've been hit with. I've been. Well, we're not going to get too deep into
Yeah, I was gonna say we might
yeah,
want to. We
into
might want
that
to.
chest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell you on me getting chopped real quick, and then we'll
Oh,
back to the draft.
oh, I would love
But
to see
like
him get chopped.
just imagine Gunther, who is like 6 foot, what, like 6'3", probably
Yeah, I think he's taller than that. I think he's like
six
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 four,
six
six
four
five.
maybe.
Because I'm
Um,
6'3". Is he's the
chopping
same size as me?
chopping my extremely short, fat ass. My shirt is off,
Oh god, it'd
beer
be so
belly's
good.
hanging out. He just
He's
chops the
so
shit out of
good.
me. It would be so funny.
You would have the largest handprint on your chest too,
He's six
forever.
four.
Yeah,
He would
well, that's all right.
he would probably get like the bottom of my Adam's apple just like straight down.
Mm.
We can recreate it. We can recreate it next time I see you. I'll slap
It would
you.
be awesome.
I'm
So I'm a big Dragunov fan, right?
big dragon.
But I'm gonna counter Isaac and say that there was one move that was even better for Raw than that, and they didn't even make the move. It was on SmackDown, which was horrible as far as the draft goes. Other than Braun going
I
to
know
Raw,
where you're
which was
going with
awesome.
this, and I
That wasn't
100% agree.
that wasn't the best move for Raw. I would say like Braun Breaker is probably the second best move. Ilya is 3, but the number one greatest move that happened
I'm
to Raw
100%.
is
You're so
Nia
right.
Jax getting drafted to
Yes.
SmackDown.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So I don't typically watch SmackDown. I read about SmackDown. I watch Raw every week, every single week, unless I have something else going on.
She was so bad this week too.
And let me tell you, it said Nia Jax has been drafted to SmackDown, and I fucking popped audibly in my house. I went, whoa, yes.
Well, I like my idea for Nia Jax. I think the only way Nia Jax could ever get over in any way, shape, or form is if we send her to Great Khali's wrestling, whatever league he
Institute.
has. Well, he's got his own little thing going, his own little
Khali Cinematic
promotion,
Universe.
and we want to send her there, and she can take part in all like the stupid Instagram videos where
Yeah.
someone like slaps a girl and then she beats the hell out of him with a chair or something, or Great Khali tries to cook something and drops the pan on the floor. That's where I want her.
Because Nia Jax is
the Great Khali of women's wrestling.
Awful.
The Great Khali of women's wrestling.
Absolutely terrible. And like I was a Nia Jax defender back in the day. I think Isaac might remember that.
Oh, I do. And I said from day one, I was like, "This, she's awful. Why are they putting her on TV? She has no."
So like she left, and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then she came back, and I was like,
"She's
all
like,"
right. And then
she's like Eva Marie without the everything.
Oh God!
I mean, she just
now.
I didn't watch that match with Rhea from Australia, so and I heard that was probably the best match in Nia's career.
It was.
Nia Jax cannot put on a good match.
She can't sell
to save her life.
She cannot sell.
None of like her promos are grating in totally not a good way.
Yep.
She
doesn't have the Vicky Guerrero thing. She's got something else that's way worse.
It's Sean Waltman go away heat.
Big time. Big time. I don't understand. I mean, it's got to just be The Rock. Is that really it? Is it just The Rock?
I'm sure that's a huge part of it.
Because I feel the same way about Ava or whatever her name is in NXT.
I mean, no.
She's not. She's a.
I mean, she doesn't have go. She doesn't have go away.
No, but I think she's terrible at what she does.
It was really like strange when she became NXT champ. Here's some more NXT lore for you. So Isaac watched NXT this week under my guidance, and I was feeding him lore the whole show.
Yeah.
Here's some more for you. So like Shawn Michaels was the like acting GM. I mean GM, right? And he would just like never show up to the shows. They would like be like, "Oh, we're going back to Shawn Michaels, and he's gonna make this match," and then they would just film a door that said Shawn Michaels on it. And then randomly one week they were just like, "Yeah, Ava's now the GM." I was like, "What the fuck? What happened?"
Yeah, it feels like it. It feels like it. But
that's the magic of NXT, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
NXT is great, and I'm glad
NXT. Great. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
and I can't believe I'm saying it, but like this show, this current NXT product probably appeals to more people than the golden days of Black and Yellow.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with you on that. That's a really good. That's a 5-star take right there.
You got it. There's our 5-star take of the night, man. Yeah. No.
Because the show is
39 minutes in. Shane gets his first 5-star take of his career.
Is thank you. It's so goofy, and it's like I'm able at this point because it's a much more serious product than what it was when they first made that 2.0 change. It sits right in the middle of like indie and WWE. And I'm able to put myself in a situation where I'm like, this really is a developmental brand. So I'm able to take it easier mentally, on these matches and on these promos.
They have some great people down there, man.
But I find myself literally constantly entertained watching that product, whether it's the D'Angelo family kidnapping Ilya Dragunov over and over again in the lead up to the stand and deliver match. Isaac, they left him in the middle of nowhere twice in like 4 weeks. Like they're like, like
oh,
it was like the
God.
second week of build to this
No,
match.
well, it's a
They're
good thing he got drafted up to Raw.
they're like,
Hopefully they stay away from him there.
get in the car, and then they bring him out to the middle of nowhere. That we're gonna kick your ass, and also we're not driving you back. You're gonna walk. And then like two weeks after that, they do it again. I'm like, holy shit, they're kidnapping him again. And they're like, oh, we ain't gonna leave you. And then they're like, they left him. I was like, dude.
And then you talk about other story, like the whole buildup with Trick versus Mello was I absolutely loved it. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I Carmelo is an absolute star as long as
he showed it that for last week on SmackDown with that match against Cody.
He looked a little jittery, Yeah,
but he hung with him though. I think he stayed with him like
for sure.
The majority of that match.
For sure. I mean that match was definitely crafted to get Mello over.
Yeah, and I think it worked.
100%. Trick Williams has it. He's extremely rough around the edges. But you take one look at that dude and you're like,
give him a little bit more time, and NXT has been face of that. Let him get used to being the top dog.
So I want to bring up a name, and I'm sure Isaac wants to talk about this dude as well. I showed him the triple threat match from Stand and Deliver DDJ, which here's another 5-star take. You know what I'm talking about with Obafemi, Josh Briggs, and Dijak?
And Dijak, yeah.
That was my favorite match of WrestleMania weekend. I don't think it was the best wrestling match. It was my favorite.
That was,
It was a fun match.
Fucking incredible.
And
Dijak does not get the credit he deserves. Josh Briggs
getting drafted to Raw.
Josh Briggs came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he just did get drafted in this like supplemental or whatever they call it.
Yep.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's so good, and the fact that they made him fucking T-Bar is crazy.
Yeah, that was a great match. My favorite match of WrestleMania weekend was the street fight, the Philly street fight with Snoop Dogg. God damn, dude, that was so much fun.
Bubba Ray as the referee.
I was laughing and I had so much fun for that one. I felt bad for the people who had to be there live because they couldn't hear Snoop.
But
I want to talk about someone with a bright future. When you brought in, he was mentioned in that triple threat match.
Obafemi. That's who I was going to talk about. DDJ.
That guy right there.
My goodness. The finish to that stand and deliver match when it's the really close camera angle on Dijak covering Briggs, and then he just snaps out of nowhere and fucking goozles him. Oh,
yeah.
It was a good
Obafemi rules. He put on a really awesome, fun meaty men slap and meat match against
Briggs
no on NXT this week
on Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
He and Ivar,
it was incredible.
It was the best match of NXT by.
That was so much fun, and Ivar was fucking crazy. He was doing fucking moonsaults and shit.
Give somebody else their flowers, man. I might not agree with Ivar and Eric on a lot of their personal views, but Ivar deserves so much more credit than what he gets. He can go. This solo run he's been on has, in my mind, done him so much good. And
I 100% agree with that.
Once Eric is cleared, they should take Ivar off of TV for a month and then just bring them back as the War Raiders.
And you know what? With
War Machine.
Or I was gonna say, or don't be cowards and call them fucking War Machine.
Yeah.
And you know what? With Triple H running the show, I could easily see that happening. I think
Anything's possible.
now. So to kind of wrap up this draft talk, so we can move on to talking about Backlash here. Well, give me guys, give me one draft move that you really, really liked.
Oh, I already said Dragunov, man.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing him up is a huge move. Having him on the same roster as Imperium. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Shane?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably mine. I already talked a little bit about Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker rules. As long as they continue giving him the push that they did on NXT, I really do believe that they could have a top end mid carder to a main eventer for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
I believe that. But my favorite move, and I'm going to think outside the box here. I think that the best move of the draft was Raw taking the entire LWO plus Carlito. I mean, that's crazy. Think about it. That's crazy value, just total wrestler wise. You have a tag team. You have Rey Mysterio. You have Zelina Vega, who is a former Queen of the Ring, and then you also take Carlito, who is already built into a feud with Rey Mysterio. So you don't even have to you can take 5 hours off your work week because you can just put that on the PLE and on Raw and and on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy value.
DDJ, you what about what did you say? You said the Solo, right?
That would have been my when we talked about if we had our first pick, I would have picked Solo because of the fact that, and that's exactly what SmackDown did. I mean, they had to wait. They didn't do it till I think it was the third round, but
you get so many different storylines.
You got Solo, you get Heyman, you get Tama Tonga, you get Jimmy Uso when he comes back. I think Jay Uso is going to find his way back towards the bloodline in some way, shape, or form. Then you've got The Rock and you've got Roman Reigns. There's so much that you're getting if you have the blood. If you were to draft the bloodline. So,
didn't Roman Reigns withdraw himself from the draft? Wasn't that the opening segment?
Yeah, but I figured it was going to be something I'm not surprised it happened and stuff because we're obviously not going to see Roman for a while and stuff.
No,
and when he comes back, like you said, he's coming back to SmackDown and stuff. So
for sure.
You have that in your back.
It's going to be so good.
He's going to follow the bloodline. They're going to finish that story, and then at that point, we'll see what happens for sure. I mean, it's still real to me. Damn it, I was going kayfabe.
But I mean, real quick before we go down to previewing Backlash here, I also was a huge fan of the drafting of Ilya Dragunov to Raw because said as great as Ilya versus Gunther was, or back then it was Walter when it was still NXT UK. They put on some bangers there. And just imagine putting that on a Monday Night Raw or hell, even a premium live event or something even better. Instead of having them go against each other, you put Ilya in Imperium and stuff. And I mean, that makes Imperium that much more of a threat. But one other draft pick that I want to give a quick shout out to that I really liked, and this is coming from NXT as well, because again, with the realism and everything was Lyra Valkyria's reaction when she got drafted. If that didn't get you in the feels, you have no soul.
I mean, a lot of the NXT call ups did, right? A lot of their
Blair Davenport, Kiana
I was gonna say Kiana James is the one that really sticks out to me because she looked absolutely shell shocked. She looked like she had no clue, and the rest of the NXT stars looked so genuinely excited for her.
They did for everybody that got called up, and that was what I loved about it.
It looked really, it was cool to see.
I don't think it looked real. I think that all was real.
Yeah. Also, real quick, justice for NXT. They didn't get to draft a single fucking person. What's up with that? They just end up with Natalya in the main event of the next show.
Yeah, well,
Natalya doesn't look like Natalya anymore.
No. But
So yeah.
let's
What
you
about
know,
That
Backlash?
go away heat from me.
So what the card is. I mean, there's some good stuff on it. I don't think there's a whole lot of mystery as to what's going on with Backlash.
I
I mean,
don't
what we
think that.
got?
Yeah,
You
I don't.
got
It
Cody. You got Cody versus AJ. You got Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Bailey, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton in the triple threat. The Kabuki Warriors
Versus
versus
Jade and
Bianca and
Bianca.
yeah,
it's it's
and then
very
Randy and
clearly
Kevin versus the Bloodline.
Yeah.
it's very clearly a house show masqueraded as a PLE, right? It's
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
it's very unfortunately what every other country gets in the world from WWE other than the United States.
Or
So for
Saudi
maybe
Arabia.
Clash at the Castle is a really
Yeah,
good.
but I mean even Saudi Arabia, right? Like
Oh,
usually
Saudi
not,
At
Arabia
first,
shows.
but not
You
a
got
whole
you
lot
get
happens normally, right?
well,
Like
you
you
just get
expect.
people trying to murder the Undertaker.
Yes,
the last couple of like crown jewel shows. I mean, you had one back when Bray Wyatt won the Universal Championship from Seth Rollins. I mean, there's been some pretty
sure.
noteworthy things that have happened there.
Can you
But I mean, yeah,
imagine? Can you imagine if a Jew had actually killed the Undertaker in the middle of Saudi Arabia?
That would have been
oh, oh
awesome.
my God, they would have
Um,
fucking nailed Bill Goldberg up to a fucking pole.
yeah. I mean, so how do we want to do this, boys? Do we want to just do our predictions and see if anybody takes the victory? Due to a
you
outside
know what?
prediction that happens.
I
You know
mean,
what? Let's. I'm down. I'm down.
Say it
I
shouldn't,
say,
shouldn't take too long.
yeah, I say Cody obviously
I mean,
wins. Damian Priest probably goes over Jay.
yeah. Well,
Bailey's got to retain.
Hmm.
I can see Bianca and Jade winning the championships,
I 100% think that's happening.
I think
and
that's the one
then
title change for sure
yeah,
that
and
happened.
then the Bloodline's gonna have to beat Randy and Kevin. There's no reason for them to lose to those two.
Yeah, you know
So
what? I'm in agreement pretty much with everything Isaac just said. I think though, if there's one, and this is like a stretch, like if there was one match like that, like I could say would be like, oh my god, I totally did not expect that happening. I could see, and I don't think it'll happen. But the one shocker that I would, if I saw happen, I don't know if I'd be 100% surprised, but I think it'd still be like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting it. I mean, maybe Jey Uso somehow sneaks the title from
that's
Damian Priest, like and
that's that's what I was going to say. Is I think that his momentum right now is crazy.
Yep.
mhm,
Um, and they're in the midst right now of Judgment Day chaos, right?
mhm.
Dom is a fucking idiot. JD is an even bigger fucking idiot.
You can't
Finn,
get anything right.
yeah, Finn Balor is kind of lost in the middle of nowhere.
Remember, he was the leader.
Rhea is
Rhea's
hurt,
out, yeah.
I mean,
and
Dom's hurt too.
and Damien is kind of just the
Like I don't
champ,
need you
right?
guys, just everybody's help.
Yeah, I mean,
Bisexual Undertaker
there could
describing
very
Damian Priest is probably my favorite thing I've
there
heard.
could very easily be Judgment Day fuck ups that cost
Cost
Damien
him
the
the title.
match, and then you just do your best to distance Damien from idiot Dom and idiot JD.
I mean, the question is though, what I mean,
Turn Finn face.
but if Judgment Day really does blow up and like everything falls to shit, what happens to our truth?
Uh, he
That man is a fucking national
God
treasure,
damn,
by
he's
he's
the
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 way.
best.
fucking best, the greatest. God, he's
And
so funny.
I've been saying this for years. When that man finally decides to hang it up, WWE the following WrestleMania needs to call him and put him in the Hall of Fame. Like he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't care
And
what
he's been doing this since like 2000 or some
20
shit,
over
dude.
20 years.
Yeah, he was in WCW. Like, what the fuck, man?
He wasn't in WCW. He was in
Wasn't he in?
He was
He was
in
even
TN.
TNA.
Yeah,
I
like
thought
the
he was in
very
the end of WCW.
no,
I'm crazy.
he was our truth was I
Christopher
believe
Daniels was in the
yeah,
end of WCW.
yeah. Our
AJ
truth
Styles, right?
yeah. Yeah, AJ Styles was but going back to our truth when in his time in NWA, TNA, I believe he was the second person like when they brought they put the NWA title with NWA TNA to hold that title. I believe he was the one that beat Ken Shamrock for the title.
Oh, he was in WWE at that time at 90. I would for some reason I thought he
Like
was
it was
in
like 2000, 2001, like the early
yeah, like
2000s.
late 99 to
Yeah, he was tagging
2001
he tagged
because he
with
was
the
K
Road Dogg
Quick.
for a little bit and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I think he got let go, went to
And that's when he
TNA
went
for
to
a few years.
TNA.
Yeah, and then he came back and and stuff, and the rest is history. But yeah, I mean, I like if you if there are fans out there that don't think our truth is a Hall of Famer, they really need to sit back and reevaluate
Mhm.
their knowledge of wrestling because I mean
Sure.
that guy just anything he touches puts the goal. I mean
He
he's
got
made
he's gotten the Miz over again.
he
One
got
of
he
the
and he made Brock Lesnar break character.
multiple times.
I believe he did he's done it with um Judgment Day.
Oh, everyone in Judgment Day. He's done it with everyone in
Mhm.
because he did it to fucking
Who did
Heyman
what to
and
Judgment Day?
Yeah,
Or
oh
Truth?
broke him. Yeah. Well, and
yeah,
Oh
then
yeah.
Sami Zayn, the other one. I mean, when he was doing the bloodline shit,
yeah. Sami Zayn with the
not very
Usi thing.
oozy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's legendary.
So good.
Yeah, sorry about that, boys. I was
Oh
my
yeah, get your soda, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching. I mean, the thing, and I talked about this last week, and to come full circle and just briefly touch up on the AEW thing is having the streaming service to watch the pay-per-views and not having to
I
buy
really
every
wish they would
one.
get. I really wish they would get on board with that.
Because
It would be the best.
let's be honest here. Would you if it was a $40 or $60 pay-per-view, how inclined would you be to buy this Backlash? If that
I
was the
would.
only way you could
No,
watch. Yeah, exactly.
No.
I would
Yeah.
probably go to a offshore website.
Yeah, okay. That's
Mhm.
what I figure. And that's how I feel about, like that's why I think that was such a smart move for WWE. And
It
they
absolutely
got it on
was.
it pretty early.
Well,
Like they got that one right.
he,
That was an early call that they made, and I mean, I missed the network, but
here's another huge selling point I think for this particular pay per view, and something that I wish WWE would do more, AEW would do more, and pretty much any other sporting organization would do is quit starting shit so fucking late.
We talked about that last week.
Like, for the love of God, like Saturday, right? Saturday is free game. I understand, but it being on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock, whenever it is
Mhm.
such an incredible thing for me because I mean, one, it doesn't interfere later with UFC, and that's just a personal thing. I don't hold them.
but
I don't hold any ill will, but especially on Sundays, right? When
we did
everybody
it.
in the world has to work the next day.
We were
Yeah,
saying this. They should start pay-per-views and shows at
Six
7.
o'clock. I was gonna say
Yeah,
yeah.
6.
yeah.
Like,
You are
uh,
old.
and like the thing is, right? Is maybe it's Pacific time. Who's gonna care out there? The same people are gonna go to the shows, man. If it starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 7 o'clock at night, the same people are gonna show up, and the same people are probably gonna be happy because they also have to go to work the next day.
Yep.
Yes. Well, like
Like,
me, I'll be watching. The best part is I'll be watching because I really my Saturday is open because the only thing I gotta do is I gotta get up first thing in the morning and take my car to the dealership so I can get looked at and stuff. And I mean, other than that, I mean, free comic book day is tomorrow for all your comic book nerds. And by the way, for shout out to one of my really good friends and an avid supporter of not only this show but shooting shit, which guys don't forget to check them out every week.
Oh,
My friend
you're crazy
Jimmy,
if you don't.
in his online comic shop, he's trying to get going called Superpowers Comics. He's going to be doing free comic book day out in Romeoville, Illinois. Look him up on Facebook to get all the details and stuff. But yeah, guys,
Free comics.
yes, free comics and
That's
stuff.
crazy.
And
Those
that, but
things usually cost money, folks.
yeah, they do. And and one little thing, if you're going to free comic book day, buy at least one book from your local comic book shop because it's expensive for them to do this kind of thing and stuff. And
more importantly, tell them DDJ sent you.
Yeah.
right on.
Man, but it would be so nice if stuff started earlier. That's another thing that GCW does really well is typically their Sunday shows start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time and end
Right.
at 8 o'clock in the nighttime Eastern time because they're
Yeah.
smart and they want as many people tuning in because
Right.
it's really tough for me. Mondays are my early day at work. I typically wake up at 4:30ish a.m. to 5 a.m. On Mondays, and I don't look for sympathy for that. But it's really tough for me to buy a $60 pay-per-view on a Sunday night when that shit is gonna go till 12 a.m.
Sometimes later.
and then I'm gonna get 4.5 hours of sleep, and
It better be a good pay-per-view.
and also have to pay $60 for this show that's gonna just ruin
your day.
my next 2 days. You know what I mean? Because you're
Right.
gonna be so fucked up on Monday, and Monday's gonna be fucked up, and then you're gonna be so tired, and you're gonna go to bed way early, and then you're gonna wake up the next day and still feel like shit. It's tough.
So, all right. Well, hey, before I think we're a little over an hour, so I'm thinking it's a good time to kind of wrap it up. Isaac, what? There's one more thing we got to take care of before.
Oh yeah, I said Pixar. It didn't happen this week. I'm choosing our favorite DX impersonator, Tomato Cheddar, Tommaso Ciampa.
So Pixar, it didn't happen. Well,
oh my God, that's two in a row.
What just happened? Somebody explain. I've been clued into this game.
Pixar didn't happen is a little thing we're doing where I every week I pick a wrestler and we see whether or not DDJ has a picture with them this week. So all right.
Well, now that we got Shane on board, we might have to do like each of y'all.
That's a good
kind
one.
Of like a.
Oh, here, let me shoot one out here. Give me 5 seconds. How about Ashley from like 2008 Raw?
Ashley Massaro?
Yes. Shit.
Oh. Well, we're gonna get there. We're gonna start getting into them. I'm gonna. I know some names that I think I could throw out there that he's probably met.
Why did my brain immediately go to Ashley Sorrow?
On that note,
what happened?
Well, let's give Shane a week to recover. We'll reconvene next week and we'll figure out what happened. So
oh hell yeah.
So boys, this was a blast. I'm so happy to have you both on here with me,
such
man.
a pleasure.
Yeah. We'll have to do it again in 8 or so days.
7 to 8 days.
Next week. Yeah. All right, boys. Here we go. Be sure to check us out on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@SHOOTINGSHT. Find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/groups/SHOOTINSHT. Check us out on TikTok at SHOOTINSHIT. And you can buy your official Shootin' Shit shirt at www.prowrestlingtees.com/SHOOTINSHT. And thanks for watching.
Legends of the Ring Sting, man. This is a great figure, old school figure. Looks great. It's Sting! Old school Sting from WCW. Guys, you know us, 3/4 of the Shootin' Shit team, and we're here with a listener just like you guys. This is Jimmy from Super Powers Comics.
My friend of almost 20 years. He's known him since you were 12.
If you know people in Chicago, you probably know Dennis because he knows half the town, of course. But shooters, if you need action figures, comics, wrestling memorabilia, we just showed you Sting. Superpowers Comics will put up their QR code so you can get a good look at everything they have coming. Give it a shot, shooters. Get your superpowers on and get your comics from our friend Jimmy, who listens just like you.
Attention wrestling fans and fans of Shootin' Shit podcasts. You can now be one of the cool kids by going to ProWrestlingTees.com and buy the official Shootin' Shit t-shirt. Buy it now and be there at ringside.